What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Bolt Standard Podcast with your hosts, Dylan Martin and myself, Justin Harley. Where we're just bringing you guys just more information, more details, more knowledge on the Chargers. We're 5 weeks into the season, 3-1 after a loss that we already did a post game recap on, so we're not going to talk too much about. But Dylan, talk to me, man. How's your week going, man? How you feeling about this challenge we have ahead?
Week's good. Heading into this weekend, ready to see what our Bolts are going to do. Feeling good about everything we got going on this end, and feeling good about what we got to talk about today. So, good time still in Charger Nation, and for the Bolt fam. What about yourself? How we feeling today?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good, man. I think it's gonna be a real good game. I'm seeing a lot of offense in this game. I know we got a lot of, both teams are banged up offensively, honestly, but I still think there's gonna be a pretty decent amount of offense. You got two really good quarterbacks. And I just think even with Jaden Daniels being out the last 2 weeks, I think it's gonna be a challenge to slow him down. But I think we're 100% up for that challenge. But I do see a lot of offense in the game. But so I'm excited. Excited to see all that. Um, let's just jump right into it, man. Talk to me. I'm gonna pass it over to you. What are you looking forward to see in this week 5 matchup versus the Commanders at home? Any key matchups, anything you're looking forward to?
Yeah, so back at SoFi, excited to see how the guys respond, honestly. I guess this is the first time you could say this is some real adversity that we're facing. A loss, the loss of another key player with Joe Alt being out. And then really just a lot of questions in the media this week after allowing the Giants to get that win. And we just didn't look very good in that game at all. Really in any phases. Outside of two guys, Tuli and Omarion. I think everybody had to look in the mirror this week and come and bring it. Like Harbaugh would say, bring your lunch pail and come to work and bring that hard hat and show some work this week on the practice field in the film room. Because a lot of the blame is getting pointed at the O line, which yes they struggled, but I think everybody can find ways to be better. Um, Starting from, including Herbert, two interceptions, they can't happen. Doesn't matter how it is, you still threw a ball when our guy wasn't there. I don't know if when Lad fell, a ball that's tipped. Tips have kind of been something for a tall quarterback that has happened a little too much for Herbert.
Yep.
And I'm the biggest Herbert defender there is, but facts are facts, so I gotta shoot it straight. But I think everybody, Roman, Minter, Harbaugh, even the way he handles himself on this week, everybody has a role to play, not just a player. So I'm excited just to see what we start out and what we come and bring this week. Back at home. The Commanders are coming off a loss. They haven't looked very good. They're really banged up. We'll talk a lot about what they have going on as we go, but I think it's more. I'm keeping the focus on us. I'm keeping the focus on our Bolts and how are we going to handle things this week. And I think we are going to start off strong because last week that first quarter was exactly the opposite of what a start that we would have wanted. So that's what I'm looking for. What about you? What are you looking at this Sunday?
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you with keeping the focus and the lens on us. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's all we need to focus on. If we worry about what we're doing, and I take it back to a quote DJ had in the preseason, he was like, it don't matter. I think they talked about like they were playing against a second string or third string or something. And he was like, I never focus on who I'm playing against. I'm always worried about what I'm doing. If I'm sound in my techniques and what I'm doing and what I'm supposed to be, my assignments, as long as I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, I'm going to be successful.
No
So
doubt.
I look at the Chargers in that same lens. Like we can't look at who's across from us. We need to make sure that we're successful in what we're doing. 14 penalties. Was it 14 or was it 15? I think yeah, it was 14. We had 15 coming into the game. 14 penalties for 107 yards. That you're not going to be successful. That's
No.
not you're not being technically sound. It's all those little keys where it's like you're looking at the O line. Yeah, they played bad, they did, but we have 14 total penalties across the board. Our defense, they played pretty well, but could they have been better against a run? Yeah, they could have. It's all those little, like you said, it's not one thing where you can really point to and say, this is what cost us the game. It's all the little things that add up. Um, my biggest matchup that I want to see, and it's not a player versus a player. It's Greg Roman versus that defense. How does he needs a bounce back.
Yeah.
He was calling great game plans for 3 weeks. Even in that week three versus Denver Broncos, that was a tough defense. And for Becton to be go out with a concussion, then we had to get Deckless was in because Pipkins was out. Like it was it was rough. It was
Yeah.
rough that O line, and I still feel like our play calling was really good, and then allowed Herbert to do some things. Still, week four that was not the case. I thought play calling was not good at all. I feel like we just played right into their hand and played into their defensive strengths. And we can't do that in week four because Washington, they're really good against the pass too. They're one of the top units in the league in pressure rate, so like this isn't a cakewalk either. And we're still banged up across that O line. So no Joe Walt. Hopefully Becton plays. He's been limited the past two games. I mean, I'm sure that if he cleared concussion protocol, he'd probably be a full. So maybe he didn't clear just yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's got another 2 days, tomorrow, Saturday, and then the game is on Sunday. Like I see him clearing.
Yeah.
So outside of Alt, that line looks like it should be a little more healthier. I think Becton's a big boost for us. Um, Outside of that, like I said, I just need to see Greg Roman. I need to see you scheme up a game plan that's going to say, hey, if they're bringing the heat, I need to protect my quarterback. Can we get some more quick throws going? Can we use the running back in that quick throw game? Be an extension of the running game, where it's like, hey, yeah, it's not a handoff, but it's a quick out to the flat.
Yeah.
Hampton has shown and especially in the last 2 weeks, he's been tremendous in the passing game, and his hands look pretty sound. Like he's not
Yeah.
dropping passes. He's catching passes out in front of him, body catches, like he's catching everything. So
Yeah.
let's use him. Get him out in open field. Let him do what he does best. He makes people miss and he's electric. Let's use him. So that's really what I'm looking forward to seeing this upcoming week, this Sunday.
For sure. My key matchup that goes right along with that. I have just our Chargers offense in general against that Commanders defense. A couple things about the Commander side. They're 24th ranked defense currently. They give up 356 yards a game, 27th against the pass at 248 and a half. And then they give up just over 100 and 107 against the run, 14. So right about middle of the pack. Last week they gave up 435 yards to Atlanta.
Mm,
On the road, they were on the road. They're going to be on the road again, dome. So I think this is really an opportunity for us to have a huge game through the air, as long as we have that protection, which I'll touch on a couple of things here in a second on that. But just to focus on the weapons side of things, as you like to call our receivers, we got the big three, Q, Keenan, and Ladd is still in that big three. I think this is a week where all three of them are going to have great opportunities. The Falcons and Dan Quinn like to play a single high safety often. So there's chances against man coverage, which Q's been winning a lot of, and Keenan and Ladd really can take advantage of, especially in the slot for Keenan, um,
hmm
of man to man. And then really whoever's going against Marshawn Lattimore is going to be someone that I think Herbert's going to target. He's been really bad in coverage this year. It seems like every week he's been getting picked on by whoever. And he's one of those guys, you hear that name, you think, oh, good corner. No, not anymore. Last 2 years, really, even last year after they traded for him from New Orleans, he
Yeah.
was not really good for them as
hmm
their CB2. So it'll be interesting to see where they put him, how they try to, hide him if they're trying to hide him out there, or, maybe Keenan's that matchup. And I think Keenan cooks him because I don't think he has a foot speed to keep up with Ladd or Q at all. So
hmm
a lot going on there. Even Mike Sanders, still one of their best corners, their nickel, hasn't practiced this week. Doesn't look like he'll play. We'll see if that changes tomorrow, but he hasn't practiced at all the last 2 days. So I think we have a huge advantage in that passing game as long as the front holds up. So just to touch on a little bit of that, 18 pressures last week, 6 sacks. That's a really good defensive line. So Washington's not coming at us with Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, and Kayvon Thibodeau at the same time. But they still have to handle their business on the front. Like you said, Becton has been limited the last 2 days. He hasn't cleared yet. Officially was limited again today. That practice report just dropped a little bit ago. And I think he should clear by the time the game is. I hope that he does. And then that gives us some options at O-line. Yesterday I saw that we had Sawyer at left tackle with the first team line, and then Zion at guard, Bozeman, Foster, Sorrell right guard, and then Pipkins right tackle. If you bring Becton back, you slide Becton in for Sorrell, and that's a solid line because we saw what Sawyer did when he filled in for Slater a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Maybe he could tap back into that because so far at right guard he hasn't been too great.
No.
Another option that I saw presented online today, which I didn't even think about, but I'm like, maybe, even though I'd like to keep him at right guard. Becton's played tackle before. He could take
Hmm.
the left tackle spot and keep Jamari at right guard and, just give a different look out there. I think, anything is open. Greg Roman in his presser said today that it could even change in the game if we see someone we like or don't like, which I'm a fan of because
Yeah.
uh, what we saw last week wasn't acceptable. So, whatever we can do, whether it's in-game adjustments or throw out a different combination this week, I'm all for that.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. I think pride got to be set aside. So, like you said, what Roman said in the presser, anything is on the table, even if it's mid-game, and
Yeah.
that's what I felt like we didn't see last week. There was no in-game adjustments. We were just getting beat play after play, and it's like, okay, let's try something different. And there was no adjustments. So I would love to just see. I mean, don't get me wrong. If we can have Becton at right guard, and then obviously, if Alt was healthy, which he's not, he's probably going to miss a couple of weeks. Have my left tackle, yeah, let's leave it. Don't touch it. But it's not the case. So looking at what Sawyer's been as a guard, not good.
Yeah.
As a tackle, a lot better. Is he going to give us that same production he gave us as a rookie when he filled in for Slater? Who knows? I mean, possibly we don't know until we put him there. But as a guard, he has not been good. He's actually been really bad, and that like to the point where I don't know what they were seeing in in training camp. And I mean, yeah, he maybe physically he looked better, dropping all the weight and everything, moving a lot better, but man, he's not processing stuff good at all. So yeah, maybe putting him back at tackle, maybe that's a better a route to go for him. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what Roman does. I'm interested to see how he focuses the game plan on protecting Herbert. We can't, like you just said it, 18 pressures last week. What we had 23 the week before, like
Yep.
all these hits, all these sacks. Herbert can listen, man. We believe in Herbert, and we believe this guy. S on the chest, man. It's the Superman right there, man. Like, but he cannot keep taking these hits game after game. Like nobody can. It doesn't matter who it is. It's gonna weigh on you. It's gonna affect your ability to be able to process, and then you're gonna start second guessing stuff. You're gonna start thinking that pressure's coming a lot faster than it really is. Getting rid of throws before you really have to. He can't play the game that way. He cannot. So, Roman, it's time. It's time
Yeah.
for Roman to show us that bounce back. So we need that.
Yep.
Um, let's jump over to a very fun segment that we all know and love. Let's get into it, man. Let's talk about a little bit of betting, a little bit of gambling for the folks that love that out there. So let's get right into it, man. Our favorite bolt the door lock of the week. Excuse me. What you got? What you going with this week, man? What's the lock?
Yeah, so I'm glad you didn't touch on anything from last week because yeah, your
It's in
boy
the
was
past, man. It's in the
free.
past.
So the Chargers aren't the only one that have to bounce back. I gotta have a big week as well. So I looked in the mirror this week. I went and I did some drawing up on the whiteboard here, and the lock of the week this week was something that I looked at last week, but protection didn't hold up. I'm going Herbert over 1.5 pass touchdowns. I talked about that secondary. I think it's still advantageous even with the line we have. I think our line looks in the mirror and says, you know what, we got to protect this guy. And even if we're down by the goal line, I think we can still throw one in. So over 1.5 pass touchdowns, that's minus 131 on DraftKings right now. I like that line. I think Roman showed us that he wants to throw the ball this year. And I think maybe Washington could overreact to the need of having to stop the run because Omarion looks really good. So I think to keep him off balance, we're still probably going to throw fairly often. And plus, we don't really have a lot of depth behind Omarion. So if we run him 25, 30 times, that just takes him off the field. And I don't think we have a lot of guys behind him that are worth giving carries to.
No, I love it, man. And you pointed on it. You touched on it, man. They're 24th in overall defense. They're 27th, which is what, sixth worst against the pass. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for Herbert to air it out. I mean, that cornerback room, like you said, Lattimore, he's don't want to say it, but he's a shell of himself. I mean, he
Yeah.
played really good, man. He's been playing really good for a long time, but these last couple of years have been real rough on him, and he's battled through some injuries and stuff, try to play through that stuff. But end of the day, I mean, it's you are what you are on the field, and he's not been good. So then you got two young guys, rookie Trey Amos, and you got Samer Still, who's the second year, who played obviously for Harbaugh and Minter over in Michigan. But no, I think they're definitely an exploitable unit, and I think we got one of the best passers in the league, so if not the best. So definitely love that over. Kind of goes hand in hand with my over, my bolt the door lock. Excuse me. Yours is more touchdown. This is still yard. So same thing, still passing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got QJ over 58 and a half. receiving yards.
Dang.
That's at minus 112, also on DraftKings. FanDuel, you let me down, man. Them props ain't up, FanDuel. So get it together, man. Because DraftKings, we might be calling. But yeah, so I mean,
Like,
just looking at some of the numbers, man. QJ has not been under 71 yards yet in a game this year receiving. Targets are through the roof. Just
yep.
last game alone, and it took 3 years. This is year three for him, but he's here now. And we see you, QJ. We see you. Like he's here. Like he's shown why he was a first round pick. And I got to give a little props. I mean, this is off script. I got to give a little bit of props to Telesco. I mean, that draft was
Last
like,
draft he might have cooked.
yeah, he might have cooked a little bit, man, because you got QJ doing what he's doing in year three. Thule, I felt like always was a stud, a second round pick in that draft. And then we had Dayon, who didn't play year one. And then obviously Tom and Staley's out, bring in Jim and Joe. Dayon's a Pro Bowler. Should have been a Pro Bowler. He wasn't, but he should have been.
Yeah.
So you look at those first three picks and you're like, man, Tom might have cooked a little. But that's one draft.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's my bolt the door lock of the week, man. I just see QJ doing a lot of good things. He's a focal point in the offense. And he's just been really good. I mean, his route running looks good. He's creating separation. His hands look good. He's dependable. And
Yeah.
when you show that you're being dependable, a great quarterback he's gonna find you.
Yep.
And he's been making plays. So that's my
Yep.
bolt the door lock of the week. Um,
Big
I don't know
play
if you have
threat still. He's got a lot of speed. I
yeah,
talked about how they're going to play a lot of man. He's been winning against man at the highest rate of his career so far. More catches against man coverage this year than he had all of last year already
yeah,
through 4 weeks. So 58 and a half, he could almost get down on one play. We saw the Raiders touchdown.
yeah.
I think that's super low. I'm definitely throwing that on my parlay this week.
Big play guy, man. Big play guy. Talk to me, man.
AFC yards leader, by the way, that's what I meant to say as well. AFC yards,
Yeah.
receiving yards leader, Quentin Johnston.
Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? Talk to me, man. Favorite over under. What you got this week?
So I'm going Omarion over 69 and a half rush yards. 69 and a half feels slightly low because of the fact that he's going to be the only guy getting touches. Last week you saw, I know we didn't run a ton, but he had 12 carries. The only other carry was Herbert on a scramble.
Yep.
Um, 69 and a half feels like a line that he can get because we saw the burst. He got 54 on one carry last week. Um, and if we go up to protect our line, which I hope we do, I hope we pound the rock a little bit more. I hope he's near that 20 carries. He should be at 19, 20, 21 carries. Now, we don't have to run him into the ground, but he's showing he's worth, giving the ball to more. He can do it in a variety of ways, off tackle, through the middle. So 69 and a half, I'm taking that over. I think that's a fair number. And then that'll just open up play action for Herbert to get that bolt the door lock of the week and to get
Yes,
that
sir.
QJ over. So I'm looking at Omarion to continue his strong play, getting over 69 and a half yards.
Yeah, I think that's a great number. And I agree with you, and I think it's a low number. Like you said, he's the bell cow. He's getting 90, 95, probably 95 and up percent of those carries in that backfield.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see how he doesn't get that number unless there's just a supreme lack of wanting to run the football. And he's getting like 8 carries and that's it, which I mean he had 12 last week, so I mean 8 ain't that far from 12. But like you said, that burst that he has, that ability to break tackles, push the pile, I think he's in for some big runs. And he could definitely eclipse that in the first half, depending on a couple big runs. I
Right.
love that. Aside from that, I do want to see, just because of how good he looked in preseason. I know it's preseason, but he's also a big back. I would love to see Haskins get a little bit of like run. Not it's. I don't want him taken away from Hampton, but like you said, we get up in the game. We don't need to run Hampton into the ground. Haskins is a big back. He could run between the tackles. He could pass protect.
Yep.
Like I said, I'm not trying to take work away from Hampton because that's my guy, and I got him in my fantasy league. Like, nah, I need him to be the bell cow.
Yep.
But for the Chargers' sake, I don't see why he can't get some carries, especially over. I mean, if we're going to get any running back in there that's taking carries aside from Hampton, I prefer it be him over Vidal. I'm just not sold on Vidal.
Yeah.
I'd rather Haskins in there. He just looked really good in the preseason. And I think he earned a couple carries. I'm going to stay with the same player for my favorite over, but I'm going receptions over 3.5 receptions for Marion Hampton.
Nice.
Get to that minus 117 on DraftKings. He had 5 catches on 5 targets last week. versus the Giants, and he had 6 catches on 7 targets versus Denver in week 3. Like I talked about earlier, man, he's looking extremely sure-handed. He's catching footballs away from his body, and I feel like we just need to use him as an extension of the run game. Even if we don't want to potentially hand it off to him 25, well, he needs at least 25 touches, and it needs to be 20, 18 to 20 carries and 5 to 7 targets. It needs to be. I don't If you look at the formula last week, getting him out in space is a tremendously huge advantage for us. He's too big, he's too fast for any of these corners to try to take down. And it's not like he's not shifty. He's making people miss too. And then you saw the play against the Giants. I mean, what did he drag three guys? It was a corner, it was a safety. Not Brian Burns, Thibodeau hit him. No one could take him down. And then finally the third guy comes over and just like throws his whole body into him and finally gets him to the ground. But it's like get the guy in space, man. Get him in space. Get him up against some of these corners, these safeties. See if they really want to, put their life on the line. So yeah, I got that. My favorite over under of the week. Hampton over 3.5 receptions. Lock that in. Um, favorite anytime of the week. I kind of want to lead off with this one because this is my boy, man. He
Go
had a
ahead.
great coming out party. Great coming out party against Denver, man. He had 5 catches on 7 targets. Wasn't used as much against the Giants, but the game flow was a whole lot different. There was just constant pressure all game long, and I think we really wanted to see bigger bodies in the game to kind of try to stop some of that rush and help with the pass block and stuff like that. So I feel like he didn't get
Yep.
a lot of run because of that.
Yep.
But I got OG, man. I got OG, man. Aronde Gadsden, I got him for an anytime touchdown. On DraftKings, it's not populating for me right now, but it was earlier and it was plus 300. Um, I think we need to utilize him more. And I think he does get utilized more. I just feel like we went away from him because of the game plan last week. And his calling card is more of receiving than his blocking, although he's shown a lot of prowess and effort and want to. I just feel like his ability to stretch the field vertically, his ability to win on routes, I feel like we need that element. We need that element, and I think that every week that goes by, I think that he's just increasingly going to get more and more work, especially when you have veterans like Tyler Conklin making mistakes like he did on that pick play, knocking the lad down, leading to an interception. Yeah, Herbert threw it, but it was a pick play that was, I'm not
Yeah.
sure what he was doing.
Yeah.
Poking his butt out. It was weird. It was really weird. Like I don't know what he was
You're
doing
not
there.
supposed to make it obvious on a pick play. You run your route and you use your body because he has a big body to get
Yeah,
off of lad. You don't just stop and turn like he did. Like that's so obvious. Like that's in
so
in
obvious.
basketball too, bro. Like come on.
Easiest call in the book. Like, come on, dude. Like you literally showed them. Come on, like
Yeah.
enough said. But yeah, man, OG, man, that's my favorite anytime. I think he gets a lot of run this week. And I see it, man. I see OG getting his shot. He's a big red zone guy. I feel like he could be for us. Outside of QJ, I mean, obviously we got some great route runners, so those guys will always be, available in the red zone. But Herbert likes throwing to those bigger guys in the red zone. We've seen it with Mike Will all his career. I got OG locked in, favorite anytime, man. What you got?
No, I think that's a really good pick. You look at last week, Kyle Pitts saw 5 catches, 70 yards for a touchdown, and a similar type build for OG as far as being a receiving tight end. I like that pick, and you mentioned not being on the game on the field as much last game. I think we'll see him more this week, going against that weak pass defense that Washington has. I got another guy through the air, so if Herbert's going to get him over 1.5, he's got to throw two. So he can throw one to OG and he'll throw the other one. I got Keenan Allen in the end zone. Couple of reasons behind that. I think he's just going to win some routes down in the red zone. Herbert trusts him. I saw earlier this week that he's seeing, I think it was 47% of the end zone targets, which is top 10 in the league right now, which is a great number because that means he's being targeted down in that red zone area. He had one in each game the first 3 weeks, nothing last week. So I think he gets back on that board this week. I had that at plus 200 on ESPN Bet right now because DraftKings is not wanting to show me what they got. I would assume it'd probably be around there. It might be down to that plus 185-ish range, but I'm taking Keenan Allen. I got it at plus 200 right now is what I'm seeing. But either way, I think it's good money. It's a good pick. And yeah, I like Slayer to get in that end zone.
No, absolutely, man. I mean, Slay is the trusty vet, man. I mean, Herbert knows his ability, and obviously everybody's seen it in the first 3 weeks. Week 4, I mean, just a weird deal, man. Too much pressure. There's a lot going on. O-line super banged up. We just didn't look good in any phases, but you've
Yeah.
seen his ability in the first 3 weeks, and he's what's Slay now? 33, I believe he is. And then it's
Yep.
like this guy's still low key uncoverable.
Yeah.
Like he's just when you're a vet to that extent and you're shifty and quick footed, but you also know leverages. Like he talked a little bit about it. It was one of their practices early on. He was because him and Derwin, they be going against one another and they be giving each other tips and stuff like that. And they talked about it, the leverage and using your body and stuff like that. And it's just like Keenan's not a small receiver. Like Keenan's up there in weight, so like he can lean on people, get them going some way, and think that they're really, and then use that body, that strength to create that extra separation. So he's just really crafty, man, and what he does, and he's just a true vet, man, true vet. So no, I love that, love that. Like you said, goes hand in hand with your both the door lock of the week. You know, one the Gadsden, one the Keenan, man. We looking real good. So
Yep, we're there.
we're looking real good, man. So um, love all those. Make sure you guys locking some of those in, man. Don't don't always feel like you got to parlay everything, man. Not
Yeah.
we're not gonna go 6 for 6 all the time, man. It's not gonna happen. We had a rough week last week. You know, a couple weeks before, all the other weeks before that, you know, we were pretty good. Anything we were 50% or better on every single week. Our first week we were what 5 or 6. So
Yeah.
you know, you're looking at stuff like that. We're gonna have good weeks, and we're gonna have some weeks where we don't hit much. That's betting for you. So get some straights in there. Don't always parlay every single thing. I mean, even if you do parlay some, you know, maybe take a couple straights,
Yep.
and kind of, you know, work that angle as well. Um, so before obviously we get ready to wrap up here, we got one last segment. We're going to talk about obviously the reason why we're here, previewing Week 5 versus the Commanders. Like I said, we're back at SoFi Stadium. I know you wish you were going there. You obviously you were at the home opener, man. I know you like, man, I need to be at every home game.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to, man? I think we're 2.5 point favorites. Um, it's we're not the early game. We're in the afternoon window.
Yep.
Um, what are you looking forward to this game? I know we talked a lot about different things and just wanting to see the offense, different stuff like that. But like, what are some key matchups for this and different just like your prediction for this game overall?
Yeah, prediction for the game. I think we bounce back. Harbaugh is such a good coach. I trust him all the time. If this was in any other era, I'd be really concerned about what we do to, help the O-line or fix the O-line or help Herbert, all those different things, right? This is also a fairly favorable matchup. Kind of could be something to right the ship for the offensive side of the ball. So my game prediction, I got us 27-20, Chargers taking the game. I think it stays close. I don't think Washington is a bad team, but I just don't think they're a great team either. They're very beatable. They have so many guys missing. They've already said that Noah Brown is out. Terry McLaurin isn't playing. Debo Samuel hasn't practiced this week, so we'll see if he plays. But it's a heel injury that he hasn't practiced with. Sanders still isn't hasn't played or practiced this week. He might not play. You just go down the list. It's really good players on their side of the ball that aren't on the field this week for practice, which makes it that much harder to play. And then if you do play, a little bit of a rust or you got a lingering injury that's weighing you down. Jaden Daniels is coming back this week off a knee injury the last 2 weeks. So we'll see what that does for his mobility. We've been fairly good against mobile guys. Last week I didn't love what we allowed Dart to do. So if you take that out of the equation, we've been fine, not letting people scramble. I think Henley being another week healthier will definitely be that spy that we keep eyes on. Jaden a little bit more, and our pass rush lanes got to be be disciplined to not get it upfield too far to give him that exit right between the guard and the tackle, and then just get around the edge. So 27-20, I think we get a few touchdowns. I think Dicker kicked a few in. I think we start off strong. I think it's really big that we do that and we're not playing from behind and allowing these guys to get after Herbert. That allow us to be better offensively, play calling wise, and so many other aspects of the game can be just more successful if we get off to a good start. So I'm looking for that 27-20 Chargers.
Absolutely, man. I just don't want us to come out flat. I mean, you kind of see it when in the Giants game, we kind of came out flat. You know, players, you know, dropping passes. Lad had a couple drops, and it was just like uncharacteristic of our team. You know, just I mean, we've never been, you know, tremendously good against stopping the run. Although the first 3 weeks we were really good stopping the run, outside of a, you know, start of the third quarter for the Broncos and JK going like 70 yards in one drive. But you know, the box score and you look at Cam Scatterbo's numbers last week, it didn't really show a true picture because it was like 25 carries for like 78 yards, but he had about like 7 or 8 carries like within in like the 5 yard between like the I think like maybe like the 10 yard line, like the 10 and like the goal to go pretty much, where we were kind of standing them up, where they
Yeah.
had all those turnovers into the 2 yard line, the 5 yard line, where we just standing them up, standing them up, standing them up. So that's gonna kill your yards per carry and all that stuff too. But they had some really good runs. Cam had some really good runs outside of that, and it just looked like they were just the more physical team that day, offensively and defensively, honestly. So yeah, so I think like just like you said, there's a lot of things that we need to make sure that we take care of ourselves. But if you do look at that other side of the football, I mean, they're going to have some challenges themselves. Like you said, Jaden Daniels being out 2 weeks, all these different injuries on their offensive side. Like, how well are they going to gel? Him just coming back, guys in and out the lineup. That's going to be tough for them to be able to kind of have that same chemistry. And he hasn't been playing good the first 2 weeks when he was playing anyway. So
Yeah.
there's definitely some challenges for them there. And with our defense, I mean, I think we're going to be able to really do some really good things against them. So yeah, my prediction on this, like I said, I do see it being a high scoring game because I just feel like Jaden Daniels is a really good quarterback. I think that offense is actually really good, although they have been struggling. Um, I think in SoFi, it's a homecoming for Jaden Daniels. You
Yeah.
look at all those different things, and I just really see it. This game's probably going to be ending up somewhere. I got us winning 31-27. I do have it being a little bit of a high scoring game, but I still think we handle business. I still think we cover that spread. But it is going to come down to I just like we talked about the play calling. How are we going to protect? And I say Herbert, but it's really protecting the offense because when you look at the ability for these defensive coordinators or these defensive teams to tee off on our quarterback. I feel like you see some of those plays like after someone like Herbert gets sacked, you can kind of look at the body language of the O line and it's like, damn, we let him get hit again. We let him get hit again. Man, look at Herbert on the floor. Like to me, that would make me feel like crap. Like that's
Yeah.
like playing basketball and my guy scores on me. I
Yeah.
feel like, I mean, I'm a little different. I don't feel like crap. I get mad. I get mad and I want to do better. So like, but it's still that's still like I still am upset. It may not be a sad like, oh man, disappointed. It's man, how did I let him do that? It's one of those. So
Yeah.
it's not just protecting Herbert. It's protecting the morale of the team. Like we need to have better play calling. And if we do, I really see no way that this team that we're playing against is going to be able to beat us. It just both got injuries, so there's no excuses there. We're banged up, you're banged up. It's the battle of who I guess who's least banged up.
Yeah.
But I really do see us sticking this one out. Um, and I kind of see Herbert making some statement throws, some statement using his legs more. And he only had, like you said, that one rush last week. I see a lot more of that happening. I mean, those edge rushers over there, those some fast guys, man. Burns, Thibodeau, Carter, those some fast edges, man. So when you think about, trying to get away from them, I mean, it's hard. Especially Herbert's not the fastest getting going. But once he's getting out, like he's like a gazelle, man. Them long legs, he get
Yeah.
going. But like getting started, he ain't got the most giddy up right away. So I see a lot more running from him. So I see us handling this game. So um, I don't know if you have any more takes or thoughts, but I think we're gonna be good this week, and I think we bounce back, get back in the win column, and go 4-1.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'd be awesome to get back and get back on that win column, defend home field. Uh, Big home crowd advantage last time we were at home against Denver. I think we have an even better home crowd this week. Those players feed off of that. So yeah, definitely excited to see what we do in that mid-afternoon window. 3 o'clock local time for us out here, 3:25, 1:25 start on the West Coast where they're gonna be at in LA. Big game though, another big game. So let's see what we do. Let's come out, handle business. Shout out to everybody that's watching these videos, man, subscribing, liking, all those different things that you guys are doing. We really appreciate all the subscribers out there. Tell a friend, tell a fan. If you're a Charger fan, I know you know another Charger fan, so slide it their way. Let them know to check us out, and give that feedback as well. Drop your score prediction in the comments if you're watching us on YouTube. I want to know what you guys think is going to happen this game. Would assume that we got a lot of Charger fans on here, so let us know if you think what the score is gonna be, if they're gonna win. What a concern may be. Just drop something in there. Let us know you're tuning in. Let's keep getting those views up. Tell a friend, like I said, get those subscribers up. We're halfway to 100, so we're trying to work our way up. We're getting there. We're trying to give you guys some good content to give you something to talk about during the week, over the weekend as you prepare for the game. Just notes as you're watching, and maybe get some money in if you're tuning into that middle segment we got. So that's going to do it for this week. Thank you guys, and Sunday, bold up.